Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be discussing our 5 fundamental pillars of summer training. My brother and I have been running cross country for the past 4 years, and throughout that time we've taken down team national records, team national titles, individual national records, and lots of cool things, and it's been nothing but fun. We're going to be going over the 5 ways that we think you can get the most out of your summer training, because the summer is the time to put those building blocks down and get yourself ready for cross country. All right, we're up here at Buffalo Park for our first pillar location. That's because Buffalo Park, for one, it's like the most well-known place in Flagstaff, but Flagstaff in general is the location we chose for this year's summer training. The reason why this location is so great is because it's a combination of all the things that make summer training great, right? We've got altitude, we've got trails, we've got isolation from noise, and we're here with our friends, right? One thing that I found at altitude that is really hard is just feeling good on runs because it's so difficult, and that introduces the concept of making sure that wherever you're training, you're prepared for the training and you're dealing with any sort of difficulties that the location could provide, right? So when we came up to altitude here in Flagstaff, the main things that I think of, which a lot of them we're going to discuss later in the video, are making sure that you're well recovered, making sure that you're fueled, hydrated, and dealing with things like the heat well, right? All of those things are things that come with this location. I think for us, a big thing for dealing with being fueled up here at least is like Morton, right? Because it means that I can get all the nutrients in before a run without feeling necessarily full because of the hydrogel technology. We'll talk a lot more about that in other videos and you'll see us using it. But yeah, in terms of location, things that I typically look for that I think are absolutely crucial for making sure that your summer training is as profitable to you as possible is like altitude is great. When you're at 7,000 feet, you're automatically just gonna get fitter with every bit of work you put in, and that is an invaluable advantage for getting fitter, especially as most of you are getting into your high school seasons. Another one is gonna be soft surface trail access. Right now, I'm walking on some trails, and what that means is that with every step that I take, there's less impact going into my legs, and that means that I'm inherently gonna be less likely to get injured because there's just less force, and you can actually train harder with less risk of injury because of the advantage of soft surface. Now that's a really cool thing, and that's something that we've prioritized over many summers. An important point to get across in terms of location is that there's not one cure-all place for training. Every place has its advantages and disadvantages. We've done multiple places, at least off the top of my head, in terms of great places for training. I know Flagstaff is great. I know Big Bear is great. I even know Newbury Park, where we spend a lot of time during the summer, is great because we've made sure that it works great. Even if you don't have a method of getting up to altitude during the summer, you can still make your summer training great by just taking advantage of what's around you. If there are dirt trails, run on them. If there's soccer fields for you to do workouts, use those. If you can run somewhere where you don't have to worry about stoplights, do that, right? You gotta find the ways that make the location right for you, you know? Running's the kind of sport that's very dependent on where you are, but also you can do it almost anywhere. So yeah, location is great, and the biggest thing is take advantage of the location you have, and then look at the location that you're at and figure out what you need to be aware of and what you need to do to make sure that it's going to benefit you the most. The second pillar of our summer training advice is goals. There is a whole school of thought saying you shouldn't set goals. It's not productive for training. It makes you too focused on the outcome. I think for a long training block like the summer, I think having some distant goals is productive because it gives you something to grasp onto and find motivation when the times are tough. I like to compare it to a longer race, like a 2 mile, a 5K, or like a half marathon. Something where it's easy to go out fast, easy to close hard, but it's that middle, you know, say it's a 5K, it's that middle mile that people struggle with most. That's where I ran my slowest mile. That's where everyone runs the slowest in cross country. And that's kind of like what the summer is, because it's so far away that it can be difficult for people to really find the extra focus and motivation, which is key to having a successful summer. And
what I would like to do is I normally like to set a goal for what I want to do in the season. Not necessarily something like, oh, I want to be 10th at NCAAs. I don't want to do something that specific. For me, for example, this season, I want to contribute to the Stanford team as much as I possibly can. I want to put myself in a position where no matter what race it is, what day it is, I am there and I'm ready to do the best. I want to make that team as good as I possibly can and make sure that if there's ever an opportunity for the team to be successful, I'm doing my part. So that's my goal, and every time I'm in a run and I have trouble thinking, oh, this hurts, it's hot, it's hilly, this is not comfortable, this is not fun, I think back on that and I realize why I'm doing this. Because remember, training, it's not just a little mailbox made of bricks. You're building a whole house. You're stacking those bricks for weeks, for months, and then for long-term athletes for years. So finding that motivation is key, and I think it's something that can benefit every athlete. Dave here, the reason why I have him standing here is because he's in, I think, a situation that's unique to him, but very relatable to a lot of you guys. He's been on our team for 3 years now. He's going into his senior year, and he's just had a major change in his training. He has a new coach, he's got new teammates, and there's a lot of uncertainty in his training right now. But he's, like we mentioned, or we're gonna mention, he believes in his coach. He's doing training that pushes him. He has great partners to train with, and he's really trying to nail all those points. But even in a difficult block like this, you still want to focus on having something that you can grasp onto in the future. So for Dave, I'll let him explain his situation because obviously you know yourself best.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, unfortunately my season did not pan out how I wanted. Track season, I was really excited coming off a great cross season. Fortunate injury put me out for the season. But I think the biggest thing, which people in my position too, take this as a learning experience, I would say. Biggest thing is always stay motivated. And even though I know for me particularly, especially for example, going to Arcade Invitational was so hard to watch. People running so fast times. But I think really take care of your body, and you gotta understand, love the sport of running. I truly love the sport of running. Get out there, put work in and day out. I think that's the biggest thing for everyone. Just to understand hey, things will not go your way. You might have a roadblock here or there, but really learn from these obstacles. I think for me, even though I was injured and couldn't run, I learned so much about my mind and body, which is really important. And I think goals are definitely a big thing because they give you something to look forward to. I'll give you an example for us. For us this year as a team is definitely to be up there in state and maybe even contend for a state title. I know for us it's definitely, we are the underdogs as we have a new coach, new team, because a lot of our guys are going off to college. I think that's definitely a big thing. And then also set individual goals for yourself. So for me, an individual goal is to contend for a California state title. So I think the biggest thing overall is to always have your goals, but if you don't reach them, it's okay. But really set yourself up and have a list of what you want to do, of how are you going to achieve a goal. It's easy to say set a big goal for yourself, but if you have a way to get those goals, that's what's very important. So that's what I would say. And honestly, if you reach them, great. If you don't, it's okay, but then look back and be why did I not reach this goal? What could I do better? And I think running, being a student of the sport is the most important thing. Always learn. There's always something you can learn. And for me, I've been really lucky. I've had guys, everyone, including right here to Lex, to just learn from. Really pick people's brains about running that are influential in the sport and really knowledgeable, and you will learn a great amount. Sorry for talking.
I guess we all get nothing.
The third pillar to a successful summer of training is recovery. Now, recovery is something that's really easy to overlook, and I've definitely done that in the past, but over time, as I've developed my own recovery methods, I've found that I'm able to train a lot harder and gain fitness quite a bit quicker. We're up here at altitude, and one of the things we discussed was going to altitude. Now, when you are at altitude, it's absolutely important that you drink more water than ever, right? One thing that I noticed after many summers of spending months at altitude is that when I don't hydrate, I feel absolutely terrible all of the time. Now, this is the case at sea level as well, but when you're at altitude, those feelings of dehydration are just that much more intense. Now, what I try to do is, I think a good rule of thumb is get in, bare minimum, get in at least a gallon of water a day. I think that if you do get in a gallon of water a day, you should be good. I try to get in more, but the whole concept is just always be drinking water. One thing that Lex in particular has found in terms of hydration is that drinking a glass of water, or a lot of water, 32 ounces is his benchmark, doing that every single morning before your run can make you feel that much better, right? While I've been up here at altitude, I bought, actually let me grab it. That's good, you can put that in me saying let me grab it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. As silly as it looks, One of the first things I did once I got up here to Flagstaff was buy one of these 1 liter glass mugs. And I think traditionally you don't drink water out of them, but I always drink water out of them. And it means that I have this great benchmark amount for the morning. Every single morning I just fill this thing up and make sure I've drinking the whole thing before I head out for the run. And that basically guarantees that I'm gonna be feeling pretty hydrated. The next thing that's really important for recovery is relaxing and taking your time to make sure that you're letting your body recover, right? A big part of that is letting your muscles recover, and that can come down to Firefly. That's what actually all 3 of us have on right now. But it's good. We all had runs today. Dave did a tempo, and that means that our legs are kind of tired, and this just increases blood flow by 400%. That way, the recovery process is that much quicker. It just means you can train harder, more often, and recover better, right? It's not the only way to get in the recovery necessary. It's just what we found that works best for us and is the most practical. One thing in terms of recovery that I think that I've really learned a lot about the past year is food and nutrition. I think a big part of that is Nico, our brother, is majoring in nutrition, so he's got endless amounts of insight. In fact, if you're more interested in the concept of nutrition or recovery, make sure to check out the video that we made on that earlier this year, which is half of it is written by him because he's so smart in terms of nutrition and everything. But yeah, nutrition is so important. I found that eating pretty simple whole foods is so important. When I'm eating things that are less processed, I can pretty much understand where they came from, being just the original, the whole ingredient to the food that I'm eating. I feel a lot better, and eating enough of it is important too. What I found is that when I'm running 60, 70 miles a week, I almost can't even get enough food in, right? It's very, very dangerous to operate at a calorie deficit, so I always make sure that I'm eating enough food. That way my body has the fuel to work off of, and that makes me feel so much better on the day-to-day. The easiest way to look at the necessity of recovery is not recovering properly is the fast lane to getting injured, right? If your body isn't recovering properly, it simply can't keep up with all the hard work you want to put in. So I'm sure most of you have a dialed in recovery routine. Take advantage of that and stay recovered, because that is going to make you that much more fit.
Do you think those clouds are higher than the wall?
The 4th pillar of training that we think will benefit your summer is the people that you have around you. Everyone's heard the saying, surround yourself with people that are better than you and it'll bring yourself up. I think that's absolutely true. I would think when it comes to the summer, you have a lot of time, you have a lot of freedom. Find people that are like-minded and also wanna, take advantage of that freedom. So people that are at your fitness or fitter, people that you can do all your runs with, work out with, and train with, because that, if I can nail any one thing that I think has just helped with the great success of Newbury Park, it's the fact that we had such a strong training group. When you have people that are working how you want to work and thinking how you think, it makes life so much easier. It's just there's something about that camaraderie of going through the pain, going through all that exertion with someone else that makes it just a little bit easier, and I think will make you that much fitter. It keeps each other accountable, it keeps each other focused, and it's something that I think is quintessential. On the other topic of people, I think equally as important is your coach. A lot of people aren't lucky and don't have, a super, a lot of people don't have the best coach in the world. And obviously that's, there's really only a few coaches that are that amazing. But what you can do is be proactive about your coaching situation and try and figure out a way to make it work for you. There's a lot of people already have coaches that they love, and that's great. Listen to your coach, believe in your coach. If you don't have a coach that you like, or maybe you don't even have a coach at all, I think it's important to look around for training that you think would work. Personally, we have a couple things that we can recommend, because there are always people asking, what do I do in the summer? One thing, if you're living anywhere in the country, I would recommend Easton Athletics. It's Nico's roommate. He runs for NAU, and he has amazing training. This is a training plan that is well thought out, personalized to you, and is gonna let you achieve your goals. We're saying this because we know them personally and we believe in what they're doing. Another one, if you live in the Southern California area, is Big Bear Track Club. Now this is another one I think it's awesome because it's more in person, it's not online. So if you live in the area of Southern California, I would recommend it. It's the same group that's Coach Brenda Martinez, and we know them personally, we love what they're doing, we've worked with them before, and we can say with a lot of confidence that they are coaches that we get behind, we think you can get behind, and that will give you all of the right needs and benefits to get to where you want to be. I think even more than just being fit and training hard is having a coach that you believe in, because even if you're extremely fit, if you don't believe in your coach, you're never going to race as well. Knowing that your coach believes in you and you trust your coach, that's a relationship that goes a long way. I think it's something that every athlete would benefit from, especially in the summer when the athlete has so much freedom as to what they're doing in training. Have a coach that can dial that in for you, because it's a training block that's so massive, it can make a huge difference for the season that's coming.
Everybody has a little big lie written in our brains to make us feel down.
We talked a lot about the more technical aspects of training, staying focused, making sure you're in the right place, and all those things. But I think what's really important is making sure that you're just having fun. After all, it is the summer and we don't have to be in school, and that's pretty much something to celebrate.
Oh shoot.
We're recording. I hope this video is super informative. This is now my 5th summer of taking training super seriously and trying to get the most out of it. And I can tell you for sure that the first few summers, I was not as smart about my training as I was this year, and it's just a slow process of becoming better and better at training. And I think at this point we've become pretty good at it, and I'm really hoping that these tips we shared with you will help you get the most out of your summer. After all, everyone wants to work hard in the summer, and everyone wants to get fit for cross country so they can run fast and get some times and victories that they're proud of. And that's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but it's a lot easier when when the pieces are laid out in front of you. We were always fortunate enough to have a great team surrounding us. That way we always knew what to do. And I hope that this video is able to at least give some of you a little bit of a path to understand what to do during the summer to get the most out of it. With that said, I really hope you got a lot out of it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.